The next speaker is going to be Mr. Sunil Kunteta, the Director of Global Customer Support e-Business Suite of Oracle India. Mr. Sunil is a chartered accountant by qualification and has done his Executive General Management program from IIM Bangalore. Has a 22 years of experience and total working experience including big corporations like Godrej and Boyce and Oracle Software India Limited. Mr. Sunil, I request you to come onto the dais, please.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me at the back? No? Can you hear me at the back? Yes? Can you see the slide at the back? You can? No? Can you see? Can you read? No? All right. You got a problem. I'll be showing you minimum amount of text. I'll be talking more, so you make some sense out of it. But this is much better than in another conference where I was speaking and I asked the students if they were able to hear me. They said, no sir, we can't hear. We can't see. But it's okay, please continue. You're a lot better. In fact, you're a wonderful audience. The energy and enthusiasm that I've been seeing is wonderful. Give a round to yourself. Thank you. So, today this is what we'll be covering. Basically, what is Internet of Things, some of the technical perspectives, what are its uses, what are the trends and what are the challenges. Next half an hour we'll talk about these areas. We don't have too much time for question answer immediately after this, but maybe at the end we have, after all the speakers have spoken. So, what is Internet of Things? And why should we understand this at all? I am sure many of you, or at least some of you, are not planning a career in many of the technologies, many of the stuff that we have been talking so far. Am I right? But it certainly helps to have a perspective about the upcoming trends and technologies, because that is the area where more and more money is going to flow and our careers lie in that, right? By the year 2020, there is going to be 50 billion connected devices. 50 billion connected devices and 40 trillion GB of data is going to move across. How is that going to work out? Because by now, the numbers have been multiplying in last 7-8 years. I'll show you some more numbers where we'll talk about how the data is moving faster and faster. Obviously, Mr. Sabyasachi has talked about big data, right? And we have seen the impact of cloud. But for all of that, the direction is Internet of Things. Now imagine a scenario in a house, there's a obviously you expect an alarm to go off when it's a smart home, it's a technology enabled home. There's a fire, the alarm goes off. But not only that, the very next thing after the alarm is, it's going to switch off the gas appliances. It's going to switch off even some of the electric supply in that part of the house where you have fire. And it is going to send, it's going to call your landline to wake you up if you're sleeping, or to your mobile phone if you're away from the home. And if there's no action taken, it is going to even alert the fire department. Does it give you a picture of what I'm talking about? The Internet of Things? Let me give another example of a smart shopping mall or a store. So you walk into your favorite store, let's say Food Bazaar or whatever you have in Chennai. You walk in with a smart trolley. You come near the milk fridge and the trolley vibrates. Brrr. And there's a message that flashed. The milk is over in your fridge. Would you like to buy? Now how is that going to happen? Internet of Things. The fridge has a sensor which has detected the stock of milk is over. The fridge has informed your cell phone, the shopping list in your mobile phone, your smartphone, that you need to refill. The smartphone knows that you are in a shopping mall or in a superstore, a big bazaar, food bazaar, whatever you want to call it. And the trolley knows that you have come near a milk fridge. So all of these connected devices are going to help you like this to make sure that you can refill and you are alerted for that. Does it give you a picture? Okay, in this context, we must talk about one person, Ashton. In 1999, he talked about this term, Internet of Things. He coined this term in an RFID journal. RFID is basically radio frequency identification. So in that journal, he talked about if we had computers that knew everything that we needed to know. Is the voice okay? Can you hear me clearly? Is it okay? Show me your hands if you can hear me clearly. No? I guess, should I bring it closer? Is it better? No. Is it better? No. Okay, can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me? No. Can I use a hand mic? Okay, can you hear me better? Ah, this is better. He should have told me. Okay, so Kevin Ashton, we're talking about him. He wrote that if we had computers that knew everything that they needed to know without human beings informing them. So today we have to enter the data to tell the computers or to the phones that the phone or the computer needs to know. But if we had smarter computers that knew everything that we wanted them to know, then we would know a lot more of those examples that I shared. We would know when the refilling, recycling, throwing off, expiry dates, all of that is required. Does it give you an idea? So Mr. Kevin talked about it, the RFID and sensor technology that enables the computers to observe, identify, feel, see, and even think, and then communicate to other machines to take the next step required. So let's try to define Internet of Things. So the Internet of Things is a scenario wherein people, animals, machines, objects can be given an ID, a unique ID. They can be virtually represented in an internet-like infrastructure. Does it give you a picture? So all that we are saying is, how do we connect people, machines, animals, or all the things on the planet with some unique ID and get them to compute, connect, communicate? That is Internet of Things. So if you have not been confused yet, let me give you a definition from Wikipedia. It is basically the interconnection. IoT is the interconnection of uniquely identifiable embedded computing devices. Helps you? Okay, very simply speaking, take the definition from the Center for Data and Innovation. A platform for devices to communicate electronically with the world around them. So you have all the things that are assigned an IP, a unique ID, and they can connect, communicate, and even compute. All right, let's talk about what is that drives this IoT. So basically you have sensor, the actuators, they are all connected. They sense, they get the data, they are converted into meaningful information and used by the management for the business processes. Okay, so let me ask you this. If you are able to log on to Facebook using your washing machine, will that be Internet of Things? How many of you think yes? Wow, none of you. Maybe some hands I saw. Okay, it is not. That is not Internet of Things. Logging to Facebook using your washing machine. Your fridge, will it have its own Twitter account? Will that be Internet of Things? How many of you think yes? Now you are hesitant. No, Internet of Things does not mean these machines to have their Facebook or Twitter account. It is a world where these objects are interconnected. They are programmed to gather information and trigger. So they connect to the server gives them command, and based on that they act. I hope that is the simplest way I can define. So if you look at the internet uses and the population statistics, in 2003 we had a population of around 6 billion plus in the world. We have moved to 6.8 billion, but the connected devices, the number of gadgets that we connect, the smartphones, the PCs, the iPads, the tabs and everything, from 500 million, they become to 12 plus billion. And in coming times, it's going to cross 25 billion, and by 2020, 50 billion devices will be connected. So now you can see the importance of big data that Mr. Bhattacharya was talking about. Also, if you want to look at the number of connected devices per person, each person, we probably have 1 plus at the moment, but we are going to have 3 and 6, and this is for the whole population of this planet. This is the kind of impact the Internet of Things can bring. Let's spend some time on the technical perspective. Is that okay? Okay or not okay? Yeah? I hope you are not really tired listening to people since morning. Are you? You are tired. I can see that. So before we continue, why don't you all take a quick 30 seconds break? Can I request all of you to please stand up? No? You don't want to stand up? Some of them want to stand up. So I suggest you stand up. Take a quick break. Stand up, turn around. Turn around. Say hi to each other. Quick, quick. Say hi to each other. Now sit down. Wonderful. So that was the break that you got. I'm sure it doesn't help much. Okay, now back to the topic. Now you can probably pay some more attention, yeah? So if we take a technical perspective of this Internet of Things, there is a sensing layer first. Like the trolley, it has to sense that you are near the milk fridge. Or your fridge has to sense that the stock of milk is over. So first there is a sensing layer. The second thing is it has to communicate to the server. The data that has to be passed on based on the programming already in place. That has to happen. And then lastly, that information has to be managed. Actions need to be taken on that. Make sense? Okay, now let's go a little more deeper. It'll be tough for you, so I'll not go too deep. If you look at the enabling technologies, the very first thing that comes to my mind is the RFID, the radio frequency identification. RFID is used to identify and track the data at the real time. The barcode and the other stuff can give you batch mode and an offline mode information, but RFID is going to help you real-time information. Okay? Sensors. So now the sensors which are being manufactured are a lot more energy efficient, a lot more cost efficient, and they will drive the future of internet pretty much. So we are looking at more and more smaller, durable, cost-effective sensors, and the nanotechnology and stuff is helping us. But we hit a problem. So as you see, the number of devices connected is going up at a very massive speed. Now for Internet of Things, very important element that you may probably need is unique ID. Everything that you want to connect needs a unique ID, and how are you going to do that? IPv4, your TCP/IP, IP version 4 has a limited number of addresses, so we are running out of addresses now. In response to that problem, IPv6 has come up or is being worked on, wherein you can have 340 trillion addresses. That's pretty large, and if you don't know how many zeros would come in, or I don't know if you can see that on some of the screens there, it's pretty large. It can cover 100 times every atom on the layer of the earth. So whatever things you have can be given an IP using IPv6. Applications of the Internet of Things. In these areas, we are already seeing the application, maybe most invisible way, but we are seeing the application in retail, management, logistics. Logistics, very much. Your transportation. In fact, city of Barcelona is using Internet of Things to figure out the possible traffic challenges. I'll give you another example where Cisco is thinking of Bangalore to be the smart city. I'm sure you wish Chennai was the one. Okay, let me give you this example. Maintenance. By Internet of Things, by sensor technology, by communicating beforehand, maintaining and preventing failures can be a lot more easier. The manufacturers can maintain their equipments much faster, better. They can prevent failures. Retailers can understand without guessing how the customers is interacting with their store layout and the items that are displayed. Similarly, garbage cleaning, a big headache for the city management. UK is already cutting down cost, not cost, 7% down crime rate because of smart lighting. Similarly, I hear one other city, US. In US, I think they are cutting down cost about 30% by implementing smart garbage cleaning systems. This system is already in place, and what is it called? Street Lines Parkside. Smart parking system, you don't have to go round and round to figure out where is the available parking slot. This one is in place, Nike Plus, so all you need is a iPod or iPad or Apple stuff, and Nike Pod Plus, so you need a sensor which fits into your shoes. You program what kind of running you want to do today. Okay. What kind of running do you want to do today? Fast, slow, whatever mode. It's going to be tracked, and once you reach back your office or your computer, you can track how you have been performing, how your running has been happening, already in place. There's a company, Dutch company, already using this technology to track their animals. Mr. Saikat was talking about whether you have a cow. If you had cows, whether they were sick or not, whether they are well, whether doing well, you could track sitting maybe here. So some of these uses that are already happening in pharma. We see smart management of your medicine. Times of India, this report came recently that Bangalore has been selected by Cisco to be the 6th smart city in their game of things. So you'll have smart city, smart parking, smart lighting, a smart number of smart things. You can probably Google and check that. But with that, there comes a lot of challenges. Privacy is a challenge. Identity is a big challenge. Efficiency, speed. Now, later on, all of us will simply become only IP addresses, an ID. You have challenges of transitioning to IPv6. That's not an easy challenge. The companies have to manufacture similar stuff. The cabling has to be similar. A lot of same standard has to be implemented here and there, everywhere, to bring that Internet of Everything. So these are some of the challenges that we have before IoT really takes off the way we are foreseeing. There are a lot of security issues. With these many connected devices, you have that many points of attack possible. One more challenge for security. So the roadmap, I'm sure you can't see the fonts there, but the roadmap looks pretty bright. A lot of things you can expect. And I'm here for maybe another hour or two, just in case you want to get in touch with me. Here are my contact details. Thank you so much for patient listening.
Thank you, Mr. Sunil.